Hello and welcome to a brand new career mode series in which we're going to be driving as Luca Ghiotto in the Williams. And if you don't know who Luca Ghiotto is, he is an Italian Formula 2 driver who drove in the recent Hungarian test for the Williams team.
Yes, and I respect that. But my client has a championship to contest. So if you want our participation, I'm afraid the concessions are mandatory. Yes, that's fine. Get back to me when you can. Goodbye. No one ever just signs the contract. Anyway, thanks for coming by on such short notice. I just needed to cover a couple of quick things with you before you race. Firstly, as requested, is a copy of your contract. It's a rolling deal. However, the team reserves right of termination if you fail to meet performance standards. You're second driver for now, but work hard, hit your targets, and I'll be able to sweeten the deal. I'm also looking to get you into some invitational events throughout the season. The experience and exposure from these will be great for your image. Plus, you'll get to drive some nice historic cars. Now then, go get ready for the next session, and good luck.
So that was Emma Jenkins giving us a wee talk there, and on screen now is the new contract, which basically says that we are the number 2 driver alongside Felipe Massa. And if you want to read it, you can pause the screen, but without further ado, we are going to get into practice 1. So we cut on to the end of the first lap in the track acclimatization program. And this was in the game last year, so it's pretty much the same thing. And that lap we got purple, but this time we've managed to get every single corner purple, and that has now completed the program. So we now go back to the pits to complete the tyre management program, which was also in last year's game. But as you can see, we're going to fail the tyre management program, and we're going to head back to the pits to start the fuel saving program, which wasn't in last year's game, which is basically how well you can save fuel over the course of one lap. In the first lap we got average fuel saving, which is good. We've got a few resource points for that. But now we're going to go on to the third lap as we failed the second lap, and it looks like we're going to get green once again, and yes we will, and that has us completed the program. And now we're going to head back to the pits to do a qualifying pace program, which was in last year's game as well. So we're going to come across the line in the first lap, and that is enough to complete the program after the first lap. And these are good signs for qualifying ahead.
You got my message. Perfect. Welcome to home away from home. We get more real-time data from the factory now than ever before, and it all comes through here. So I have to spend more time checking over the reports and less time hunting you down in the hospitality suite. To that end, Sorry, just a sec. Yeah, Chris, is this important? I'm in the middle of something. Okay. Right. Well, that makes no sense. Have Sarah reset the simulation and run it again. Okay. Sorry about that. As I was saying, we've set up a desk for you at the front here. You can get onto the network from your laptop, so make sure to check the R&D screen regularly. And let us know how you want to use the data that we've collected over the weekend and through the practice programs. Also, bear in mind that the news from the factory won't always be good. Sometimes tests fail, like you've seen just now. And when that happens, we have to divert additional resources to fix it. C'est la vie, I'm afraid.
So if you don't know what resource points are, it's basically the currency used in career mode to upgrade the car, and which costs money, of course, and that goes over to the factory to get processed, and it sometimes takes a few races. So sometimes they don't actually work, so sometimes they will fail, but more often than not they should do well. So, and again, feel free to pause the video if you want to read what it's saying. But now we're going to take a look at the R&D tree. So on the right of the screen here is the general performance comparison, which Williams is 4th in the field for. And now here there's 4 main parts. There's powertrain, chassis, aerodynamics and durability. But I've noticed that we are weakest on the chassis and we are second last in chassis, so that is where we need to put some upgrades into. And we're going to do the first upgrade here, which will cost 1,000 resource points. So we're just going to confirm that. And now we're going to use up a bit more of our resource points on some quality control upgrades, which will make sure that there's less of a % chance that the upgrades that we do will fail in the factory. So we're going to do that. But unfortunately, that's all we can afford at the moment. So now, let's go on to second practice. Now the race strategy program is quite a good program because you can accurately simulate your race pace, because it just awards you for being quick, and it also monitors the fuel you've burnt and your tyre wear as well.
The gossip columns this morning. Everyone's talking about this new rival you have. Check his stats out.
Now again, you can pause the screen to read about the rivalries, but our rival is going to be Felipe Massa, our teammate. And now we're going to listen to our voicemail and our qualifying goals, which will be 7th position, and also to beat Felipe Massa, our teammate. And now, without further ado, let's go on to Q1. And now cutting on to our first and eventually only qualifying lap in Q1, as we go across the line to go into P4. And now cutting to our first run in Q2, we open the DRS. Where will this lap time put us? It puts us into P4 and just behind our teammate, which is not bad. But we cut on to our second run and onto a fresh set of ultra soft tyres. We open the DRS once more and we go into P7, and again just in front of our teammate this time, so that puts us into Q3. And cutting on to our first run in Q3, going very wide there. And where will this lap time put us? It puts us into P5, and again we are just behind our teammate, but then we're knocked down into P6. And cutting on to our second run, and we're going to run out of time to put in another lap, so this is going to be our final lap, and it's going to put us into 9th position only. So we have failed to meet our objective. But just before we get into the race, we have earned enough resource points to get another quality control update. So we have got that, and now it's time for the race.
Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Kimi Raikkonen completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Verstappen, Daniel Ricciardo, and Vettel, Massa, Perez, Williams, and Kevin Magnussen, Palmer, Sainz, Nico Hülkenberg, and Kvyat, Grosjean, Ocon, Fernando Alonso, and Marcus Ericsson. Van Dorn and Pascal Wehrlein completes the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
And a quick look at the strategy for this race. We're going to do a 2-stop, starting on the ultras and then changing on to 2 sets of super soft tyres. And it's 5 red lights for the first race of the season, and away we go. And it looks like we've had quite a good start, but Sergio Perez has an even better start, and he is side by side with Ricciardo and Vettel down into turn 1. It's 3 wide, and we've had slight contact with our teammate as well, but Perez is now going to challenge Ricciardo down into turn 3, and we are side by side with our teammate as well. Down into turn 3, we brake a bit early to avoid the contact, but Massa is going to have a shot at overtaking Vettel around the outside, but he's not able to make the move stick, and we are staying in P9, but we cut later into lap, and we're going to try and go up the inside of our teammate, but the move didn't stick, and we weren't able to make it there. But we're going to cut on to the start of lap 2 now, and we get a good exit out of turn 1 and into turn 2, and we get good slipstream as well on our teammate. Can we possibly make the move up the inside? We go up the inside in a diving move, and can we make it stick? I think we have made the move stick, and we are now up into P8, and let's take a look at a replay of that move up the inside. That was quite a good move from us there to overtake our teammate Felipe Massa. But now we cut on to the next lap, lap 3, and it's Vettel and Ricciardo side by side. Is Vettel going to make the overtake? I think he has done, and oh yes, he has made the move up into P6. That'll be, and now can we capitalise on that and make a move on Ricciardo? We cut on to the end of the lap 4 as we get DRS down the main straight. Can we possibly make a move down to turn 1? I think we're a bit too far back. Yes, we are too far back. But can we get a good exit out of turn 1? I think we've got a good exit. And we open the DRS once more on Ricciardo this time. We go to the right, up the inside, into turn 3. Can we make the move? I think we've made that move. But no, but can we hold it around the outside? Yes, we have held it around the outside. And we are now up into P7 as we take a look at a replay of the move. Up into turn 3, we're side by side, and Ricciardo tries to hang it on in the inside, but he's unable to do so. And we are up into P7, that'll be. And now we're going to cut on to the end of lap 8, and it is time for us to come into the pits and to put on a set of super soft tyres. And we lock up as we try and brake, and we have just made it without getting a warning or a penalty. But in we come to the box. Let's make it a good pit stop here, and we exit the pits safely, and that's a decent stop. And where are we going to come out on the field? That is now the question. It looks like we're now P14, but that is Stoffel van Dorn gone past, so now we are in P15. And can we chase down the McLaren driver to try and take P14 away from the Belgian? We cut on later to lap 9, and that is Romain Grosjean. It looks like he maybe have spun or something. That is not good for him, and that has probably ruined his race. Let's take a look at a replay, and he's just locked up going to the right hander, and then he's been held up because he's had to let all the cars go past so that he can manoeuvre safely away, and he's lost a lot of time as there we go by there, and that is not good for Romain Grosjean, and that is very disappointing for him. But now we're going to cut on to the end of lap 9, and we have the DRS on Stoffel van Dorn. But if you look to the right, that is Sergio Perez, and we have jumped Sergio Perez in the pits. The undercut on him has worked very well, but we're going to get DRS again off of Stoffel van Dorn. Can we make the move up the inside? I think we can, and that is a relatively simple move on the McLaren driver there. And we are now up into P12, I think. No, P11 that is. And we're now going to take a look at a replay of the overtake. Relatively simple for us down into turn 3. Not as near as dive bomby-ish as the last few overtakes. But we cut on to the end of lap 10, I think that is. And we have got DRS on Fernando Alonso. Going into turn 1, we have a look, but we are unable to make the move at the start of lap 11 now. But we're going to get another bite of the DRS, and can we possibly make the move this time on the other McLaren driver? We're going to go up the inside, and that is another relatively easy move on the other McLaren driver this time. And let's take a look at a replay of that. And up the inside, and Alonso actually locks up going into the corner, so makes it even more easy for us to make the move. But we cut on to the end of lap 12 and we've got DRS on Daniel Kvyat. On the main straight we're going to overtake him to the right and up into turn 1, and we make the move stick, and that is us now up into P9 that is now, and we are making very good progress as we take a look at a replay of the overtaking manoeuvre down into turn 1, and maybe there was slight contact there, I'm not sure, but no damage is done. But we cut on to lap 15 and we have made the move on Nico Hülkenberg into the penultimate corner, but he sticks it up the inside for the last corner. It is side by side stop as we open the DRS. We go into the slipstream of Hülkenberg for a bit, we go back out, and we're going to try and go around the outside of turn 1, and then it's going to turn to the inside for turn 2, and we have made the move stick. That is a very good move as we go pretty wide on the exit of turn 2. So let's take a look at a replay of that move. We go up the inside in the penultimate corner, and Hülkenberg sticks it up the inside, which turns for the last corner, and he gets better traction, but we have the better straight line speed with the DRS as well. And then down into turn 1 we go around the outside, which turns to the inside for us. But now we're going to cut on to lap 17 and we're closing up to the back of Jolyon Palmer, and we're going to try the same move that we did onto his teammate Nico Hülkenberg up the inside. But the shine takes off the move a bit there because Jolyon Palmer actually goes into the pits, but we get the DRS anyway. But now we cut on to lap 19 and it is time for us to come into the pits for our second stop of the day, and we brake a bit earlier before we still lock up, and we just make it in time again. It wasn't as close as the last time, but also Master comes into the pits as well, so hopefully we don't hold him up too much, and I don't think he was held up by too much there, fortunately. But let's see where we're going to come out on the track. It looks like it's going to be P9 I think, just behind Carlos Sainz. Now we cut on to lap 21 and we're going down into turn 3, and the virtual safety car has been deployed I think, and that's Marcus Ericsson out of the race. So let's take a look at what happened to him, and it's an engine failure for the Sauber driver. That is disappointment for him. That is not what he would have wanted in the opening race of the season. But now we're going to cut on to lap 21 later into lap, and Alonso is also out the race. So what has happened to him as well? Is it another car failure? Let's take a look at the replay. He's down into turn 3 and it looks like it's a mechanical failure of some sort. I'm not sure what it is, but another failure in the McLaren car. But we cut to lap 22 and we've closed up to the back of Carlos Sainz, and we're going to go up the inside into the right hander, and we have made the move stick, and we are now up into P8. And now we cut to lap 23 and our teammate Felipe Massa is out of the race as well. So whatever's happened to him, hopefully that's not going to happen to us as well, as we take a look at a replay now, and he's on the back of Daniel Kvyat and then he goes off the track. So I think that must be another mechanical failure. So hopefully that same thing doesn't happen to us as well, and it won't affect us. But we cut to the start of lap 24, and the gap to Esteban Ocon is around 5 seconds. So hopefully we can try and catch to the back of him before the end of the race to try and snatch P6. We're cutting on to the end of lap 26, and we have got the DRS on Esteban Ocon, so we have caught up to the back. Can we make the move into turn 1? No, we can't, and we stick in behind, and we get a decent exit out of turn 2. We open the DRS. Can we possibly make a move down into turn 3? And we look up the inside down to turn 3, and we are up the inside, and it's side by side going into turn 4, and we hold it round the outside to take P6. That was a very good move for us there. Let's go and take a look at a replay of the move up the inside into turn 3. A pretty good move, but Ocon does well to stay side by side into turn 4, but he is not able to hold his position there. And now we're going to cut to lap 27 and the start of lap 28. And that Sebastian Vettel has just come out the pits just behind us. So now we're up into P5. And can we try and catch Perez for a P4 finish? That would be a very good place to finish. We got onto the last lap of the race and we have dived up the inside of Sergio Perez, going to the final corner of the final lap, and we're going to get the DRS on the line. Can we make the P4 finish? I think we can, and that is P4 for us on the Australian Grand Prix. And let's just take a look at a replay of that overtake. Down into the penultimate corner of the race, we dive up the inside and we're able to hold it round the outside of the last corner.
Great effort there from Ferrari to take the victory today. And Anthony Davidson, give me your thoughts. How did they accomplish this result?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
And as we can see, it's time for the podium, and as the drivers make their way out, there's a familiar red suit making its way to the top step. Fantastic win for Ferrari.
So if you did enjoy this first episode of the Ghiotto career mode, do leave a like, share the video around, and subscribe to the channel for more F1 videos on F1 2017. So we'll see you next time for another video, and goodbye.